An investigation's underway after someone sent a suspicious letter to Senator Susan Collins' home in Maine. The letter is believed to have contained the poison ricin. Joining us now, Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican, Louisiana. Senator, this is toxic politics. I'm sure you don't like it.
It is totally toxic, and some on the left, having been unable to win elections and unable to deal with the consequences of not being able to appeal to the American people, have decided to resort to thuggery, intimidation, both physical and emotional, if you will. And unfortunately, it's also egged on by some of their leadership, saying get in their face or kick them or don't be civil. None of that works. It should be disavowed. It should be pushed back upon by their leadership, not encouraged.
I've not heard a single leading Democrat say, knock it off, retreat, become more civil. I don't think that's a very good strategy as the midterms approach, but it's your interview.
Hey, listen, it may not be a good strategy, but it's good for the United States of America. And if this was the right doing it to the left, it would be all over the place. But I'm from Louisiana. I know Steve Scalise. And I know what almost happened to Steve and what did happen to Steve. There are consequences of encouraging people not to be civil, to get in their face, and to kick. Some folks, unhinged, will go just too far. And I would ask all in our political spectrum, maybe it's not good for your electoral chances. Maybe it is. Maybe independents will say, they're being responsible. But if not, maybe independents will say they're being irresponsible.
Got it. Okay, let me move on. The Republicans have avoided talking much about health care as we go to the midterms. You don't agree with that strategy, do you?
I do not. I think we should be leaning into it. Republicans have offered bills, sometimes co-authored with Democrats, that would lower premiums by as much as 20%. And then after negotiating with Democrats, Democrats would not support. That was what Susan Collins and Lamar Alexander did earlier with stabilizing the insurance market. We have consistently sought to lower premiums. There's a fellow in my state, his quote was $40,000 for his family, and with a $13,000 deductible. Republicans are trying to lower that. If Democrats are defending that, there's not much to defend.
What about pre-existing conditions? That's a real sticking point, isn't it?
Everything I proposed has explicitly taken care of those with pre-existing conditions. But the ultimate loss of coverage is being unable to afford. Think of the fellow I just mentioned with a special needs child. His quote was $40,000 for 1 year and a $13,500 family deductible. That is the ultimate loss of coverage for a pre-existing condition when you cannot afford.
What do you make of this proposal that when a drug company puts an ad on TV, they got to tell the cost of that drug? Most people say that's pretty good stuff and it might get prices down a little bit. What say you?
I'm totally in agreement with that. If you look at Medicare Part D, it is to the advantage of the pharmaceutical company to have a high list price, even if they're doing a large rebate on the backside. And when it's in that Medicare Part D, it more rapidly pushes the senior citizen into their catastrophic coverage, which is expensive for the taxpayer. It's expensive for the senior citizen. I think it's legitimate, therefore, to know what those list prices are.
Well, there's transparency, too, in the drug pricing business. Senator Cassidy, always a pleasure. Thank you very much for taking time out to be with us today, sir. Much appreciated.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.